Hi, this is Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the President, Founder, and Chief Listening Officer here at our network at USA Global TV and Radio. Thank you so much for your loyalty. Thank you so much to all of our guests, to our team members, to our sponsors, and to all of our elevated listeners. Here at USA Global TV and Radio, we provide world-class education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. We celebrate all of our team members, all of our guests, and all of our sponsors from around the world who come and lead their lives with their hearts to help other people walk into their greatness. If you'd like to be a guest on any of our shows, please go over to our website, usaglobaltv.com, and book your session. Please contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com and subscribe to our channel.
One, two, three.
You're live, Dr.
Hi.
Chan.
Yeah. Hi. There's a little bit of a delay today. Hi, my name is Dr. Madalene Chan, and welcome to Talking Heads on the phenomenal platform USA Global TV and Radio. So there really is a delay. I guess, well, I'm just going to carry on with this because sometimes in life, technical problems come up and you got to carry on with the show because at the end of the day, it's about getting the message and getting the energy across. All right, so my name is Dr. Madalene Chan, and for today's program for Talking Heads, we are going to be talking about, it's called the University of Life. Now you're going to say, what is the University of Life? Apart from the universities that we're already affiliated with, and with the way that we go to universities to learn a certain topic and conversation topic, and then we get tested upon it, and we have to, there's certain mannerisms as well with university, and it's all from the mind. It's all from the mind is the university. Now, the University of Life, let me tell you a story. I lived in Malta, and I was on the bus on Malta, one of the buses, and this gentleman came up to me and said, "Oh, you seem a very intelligent young lady." I said, "Oh, thank you. What university did you graduate from?" And I went, "I graduated from the University of Life." Then he looked at me and says, "I haven't heard of the University of Life. Where is it? Is it in this country? Where is it?" And I went, "Oh, no, it's not in any country. It's in here and here." And he went, "Oh, interesting. Okay." And then he said, "Right, that's my stop. I have to go off." So basically it was difficult for him to understand what the University of Life is. So here I am. I'm going to tell you what the University of Life is. The University of Life is about learning, reprogramming, actually an awakening to your feeling side of life, where you are no longer controlled or dominated or decision making by the outer world reality. Everything, all sources of information is stored within the soul, the heart, and the mind, the divine mind. So let me recap. So at the moment, since we went into the golden age has brought a lot of light onto this planet, onto planet Earth. And that means basically that there is no more darkness. all light will be shone on every dark corner. That means that when a light is shone, you can see the dust particles, right? So the dust particles is a representation of our negative ions, our negative discordant energies, our thoughts, discordant thoughts, our fear-based emotions, the way that we operate from our ego rather than from our heart. So we are learning now to be a heart-centered race, meaning we are going to follow by the heart, lead by the heart. And the heart is connected with the compassionate soul. So our compassion is actually now expanding into the soul. So a compassionate soul. So the University of Life is looking at every spectrum, every part of us as a human collective consciousness and race of beings. So we need to we have to look at the way that our thinking process, we have to look at the way of how we manifest, how we magnetize things to us, how we have to, for example, there's a lot of news and a lot of media going, and false news and fear mongering as well. And I don't want to get political, and I don't want to go into that energy. I don't even want to go into it. I just want to kind of stay on the edges, because we don't know what's the truth. However, what we do know is what we can work with ourselves, our authentic self. And we need to start by going to the University of Life, traveling within, awakening within us, and look at the way that what we eat, look at the way that we present our thoughts. So sometimes our thoughts are so connected with our ego. We are learning now to have solutions and to react from emotional intelligence, from our hearts and our compassion, rather than our egos. So the University of Life is about, we feed too much into what has been thrown at us. We feed to, if you continually think you're not good enough, if you continually think of something that's happened in the news and you keep bringing it up, then what you're doing is you're fueling this, you're feeding this. We have to learn to remember, if you don't feed something, eventually it shrivels and it goes. And I'm meaning more of a humanitarian in the way that if you keep feeding yourself the negative, if you keep on attaching to yourself the noise in your head, if you keep expanding that and focusing on that, that will feed it and that will make it grow it. And when it grows, it will then attach itself to that certain lesson. So in life, we are here to experience our highest potential, but we cannot reach our highest potential if we are steeped in our lower vibratory level. We need to lift our vibrations, awaken to our heart and soul, and tune in and listen to what our hearts and the soul is talking, soul talk. We need to attune ourselves to soul talk. So the University of Life is basically where you have to, first of all, you have to surrender. Surrender something that you cannot control. Surrender it, release it, and let the healing commence. Now, the healing, you could actually heal it yourself if you wanted to, but there's one thing here. If you want to heal yourself and you still have low vibratory, fear-based, discordant energies within you, that's nothing to do with what you're practicing, but it's something that you haven't dealt with and you've just kind of like pushed it aside because you think, well, I'm quite qualified now in this other area and this is what I'm teaching. But if you have ignored other parts of you, that right now from 2023 is going to come back amplified, and it will become louder and louder and louder until that loudness is actually interfering with the other part of your life, which seems to be running well, which seems to be flowing well. Now, remember, it's a balance. So if all of a sudden it doesn't flow well as what it did, then you have to question yourself, what's going on here? Basically, it is your heart and your soul that's saying, hey, come on, it's time to deal with this now. It's time to deal with this that you put aside. So the University of Life is basically, I've said basically quite a few times, I'm sorry. It's about bringing up all unresolved, discordant energies, pain and suffering that you thought you might have forgotten and you've repressed it. But don't forget, right now, and from this age now, there's so much light that is now on this earth. There is no more dark corners. So we are in the age of purification, and we need to clean our house out. Our house, let's say, is our body, right? So our body, we need to clean it up. Okay, would you live in an absolute messy place to the point where you can't see the floor, you can't see, I mean, there are some people actually that can live in organized chaos, but there's a lot of people that it's difficult for them to function. So in that respect, think of your body as the house, and it needs to be cleaned, because otherwise it gets dusty with dust particles. So it needs to be cleaned. And then occasionally you need what you call the deep clean, just like the way that we, when we want to detox to get all the toxins out, right? We also need to detox to remove the stale, stagnant, discordant energies that is trapped within our cellular, within our auric field, which is preventing us from functioning in a balanced way of life. So the University of Life is about surrendering, releasing, allowing the healing to come in. Actually, it's surrendering, healing, and then releasing. You have to release. You have to let it go, because at the same time you're healing, you need to release. You need to release that energy, because everything is energy. And remember, If you keep any discordant energy in you, then you are stopping and controlling that energy, really, because that energy has a purpose. Just like we as human beings, we have a mission and purpose. Energy has this mission and purpose. And the more we repress and keep it in and keeping the house dirty, the more we are preventing that discordant energy that needs to be released to fulfill its mission as well. Because everything, nothing dies, everything is of energy. So basically, if something is removed from this plane, it takes on a new form, because energy doesn't die. It just gets rebirthed in a new form. So I know you're going to ask me, because I am not a qualified doctor. I mean, as in a medicine doctor. I'm not, and I'm not going to say that. But, and there is a place for all doctors, there is a place, because everything is of balance. But because now it's about quantum, about energy, about alchemizing, changing form, changing our habits, our thoughts, cleansing, purifying, in order for us to evolve and expand into our higher consciousness, heart-centered beings. Right now, I know we talk of 5D, light and love, and there's so much light that's been descended upon the earth and gone into the earth's crust, into the earth, the crystalline grid, and into all the kingdoms, meaning the tree kingdom, the flower kingdom, the plant kingdom, the sea kingdom, the animal kingdom, the bird kingdom, the crystal kingdom, the elemental kingdom. Yes, we have kingdoms here, as well as kingdoms, United Kingdom and all these country kingdoms. We also have, Mother Earth also has her kingdoms. And we have, as a human race, have fallen asleep to those kingdoms. But those kingdoms are now awakening, and as much as we're getting a glow up, a level up, all the other kingdoms are receiving leveling up, moving on up. That's it. That's the M People song. Moving on up, nothing can stop us. Okay, I'm going way off thing, but sometimes I have to go with what I'm feeling and what I express. So we are moving on up, but 5D has not fully arrived yet. We are in transitioning. We are in a transitioning period. We are in 4D. Some of us are practicing 5D within, but on the outside reality, 5D has not arrived, because in 5D, if 5D was on the outside reality, then the lower vibration wouldn't be heard, seen. It would have gone on to other orbs in the universe. So this is what we have to understand. The University of Life is going to prepare us to evolve and expand. We have learned as much as we can from the University of Life from a 3D perspective. We are now have to learn, evolve, and grow the University of Life and attend the University of Life. And the University of Life, there's the main headmaster, and the main headmaster or headmistress, doesn't matter, whatever, it's our governing heart. The University of Life is not where you pay lots and lots of money. No, I mean, you can go on courses, absolutely. But at the end of the day, what really directs you in your life is not what you've been told. What really directs you and opens and awakens you and helps you when you make a decision, expand your heart center. It is your inner world. It is the University of Life. And once we're all at that stage where we've got quite a few people graduating from the University of Life, which is learning our life lessons. Take, say, for example, myself, I've come from, I'll be quick and brief about this. In my life, I've had to learn lessons of abandonment, rejection, harassment, being a doormat, gullible, naivety, racial discrimination, mental abuse, drinking with association, not being good enough, life-threatening experiences, warnings in life, not taking any notice, losing someone dear I loved, my baby boy, lessons of fear of being alone, to divine intervention and awakening who I am, which I will continue this with the University of Life, because I believe the University of Life is required more than ever in this life. Everything is about a balance. We have taken the universities, gone to universities, learned the topics, got the thesis, got the degrees, learned about all of 3D, and 3D is archived, and it always will be. But life is about a balance. So now it's time to learn the University of Life from the heart. So it's a whole new experience. And guess what? You don't even have to be stressed about it. You can be childlike essence. That's the thing here. The University of Life isn't about being judgmental, being a critic. The University of Life is about embracing all that you are in a childlike essence, lifting your vibrations. The only part that when you have to be more of an adult to the child is when you have to travel and learn about your shadow self. Again, that is the University of Life. And myself and Dr. Jacqueline have compiled some beautiful courses on USA Global TV education platform on the Thinkific. And on there, we cover how to awaken, how to face the shadow of self. Course 3, how to breathe properly, how to bring out what you wish you want to manifest in what you want to accomplish in this life. Course 4, and we have this role plays with that. And then course 4, we look at trends, what's going on in the 3D perspective world and how it's changing and how we need to wake up to that and realize, yes, it's a trap. It's an ongoing trap going round and round and more of the same. create your own trend. The University of Life will teach you to create your own trend, not somebody else's trend, your own trend, because that's what we're about now. 2023, take your power back, get your masks off, become real, and become your own trend. Follow your heart. So the shadow of the self is dealing with your lower vibrations, your pain, your suffering, your karmic lessons as well. And you have to travel. You have to go to the shadows. You have to go into the darkness, because into the darkness becomes the light. And you will see into the darkness, and then you will see the light. That's what you have to do. Course 5 is about the intuition of the heart. Once you've done your shadow work, then you need to learn about the intuition of the heart and the soul language, which is going to be in 2 parts, actually. So the University of Life is, well, what can I say? If you want to understand the new earth energies that are now taking place and the big changes, there's big changes because things are crumbling. Things are crumbling. Things will not make sense as they were, but life is about expansion. So you haven't to blame, judge, gossip, or critic. Everything has had its place. So now it's time to bring a balance and bring this into place. We are getting prepared to graduate for the University of Life so we can live a 5D life. But 5D on the outside reality has not arrived in its fullest shine, in its fullest brilliance, in its magnitude. No, because if it did, 3D wouldn't be here at all. Limited self, we wouldn't have that. So let's all lift our vibrations and listen to your heart, attune to yourself. And if you can't, that's okay. Hop onto one of these courses, go on there, because you will go on a journey. You need to get with the University of Life. I've been with the University of Life since 2012. That's when, although I had my lessons, I joined the University of Life throughout my life, which I had to learn the 3D University of Life of lessons. And now I'm transitioning from the 4D into a 5D University of Life. And that's what I can teach you. My name is Dr. Madalene Chan. I've absolutely loved talking and sharing my experience. Like I said, I am, and I'm not going to say I'm not a doctor as in a qualified, as what a qualified doctor is. I'm a new type of doctor. I'm a new energy. And it's time to bring that. It's not just me that's here. There's many others. And you all are. Although some people are not going to. We've got to understand this. You cannot push somebody, because you can hurt and you can hurt them where they don't wake up. So everyone has a choice in this life. We cannot push. Everyone has a soul contract. We have to respect that. We cannot judge. When people are awakening and ready, they will hear it. Once they start questioning, then you know that it's time to have a newer perspective in your life. For those that don't, that's okay. It might not be their mission in life to wake up on this earth currently. That's okay. Everything is in divine alignment and planning. The universe has this beautiful divine plan. And we're here to look after our earth and bring her back to magnificence. At the same time, bring ourselves back to our authentic self to live the highest potential, being creative beings, manifesting all we desire and require, and living in different communities, but all being the same, honoring the energy of the universe, light and love. Thank you. My name is Dr. Madalene Chan. You can find me on madalenecarolchan@gmail.com, MadaleneCarolchan@gmail.com. And I will see you next week for another lesson on the University of Life. Mwah. Much love to you all. And thank you for Talking Heads and USA Global TV and Radio, and especially Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Much love. See you next week. Bye.